Part 2. Life Abroad, Oxford and Robert. The first time Stephanie stepped out of Heathrow Airport, the cold felt like a slap of truth, sharp, clean, and foreign. She'd imagined England through movies and glossy brochures, but nothing had prepared her for the sheer loneliness that came with it. Oxford was beautiful, yes, a city of ancient spires and whispering winds, where every building looked like it remembered 1,000 secrets. But for Stephanie, beauty wasn't enough to drown the ache of starting over in a place that didn't know her name. She rented a small room near Headington, not far from the hospital where she began her internship. The walls were pale, the window overlooked a quiet street lined with oak trees, and the silence was constant, too constant. At night, she'd sit by that window with her tea, watching strangers walk past with laughter she couldn't understand. Her heart often drifted back to Benin, to the laughter under the mango tree, the hum of generators, and Emeka's voice saying, "Sometimes God sends you people, not because they have much, but because they can stand beside you when no one else will." She missed that steadiness, that warmth. But the world she had entered now was different, colder, faster, demanding. On a Thursday, one of those drizzly English afternoons when the clouds hang low like tired eyelids, Stephanie was finishing her hospital rounds when a patient was wheeled in, a man in his early 30s, handsome in a quiet, unshaven way, clutching his arm and cursing under his breath. "Cycling accident," one of the nurses said. Stephanie approached with her calm professionalism. "Sir, you'll be fine. It's a minor fracture, but we'll get an x-ray done." The man winced but smiled faintly. I've never been this close to a nurse who talks like an angel and commands like a general. She couldn't help but smile. "That's because you haven't met enough nurses." He chuckled through the pain. "Name's Robert. Robert Johnson." She nodded. "Stephanie." That was how it began, a brief exchange that somehow refused to end. Robert came back to the hospital a week later for a follow-up, and then again a few days after that, this time with coffee and a box of chocolate biscuits. "For the nurse who fixed my arm and my ego," he said with that easy, confident grin. She laughed, shaking her head. "You're becoming a regular here. Maybe I like hospitals now. You like the nurse." He tilted his head. That too. Robert was everything Emeka wasn't. Confident, wealthy, and unafraid of showing it. He was a software engineer, the founder of a growing tech startup in London. He spoke about innovation and venture capital with the same ease that Emeka once spoke about community pharmacies and local dreams. Stephanie found herself drawn to him. Not in the way love begins, but in the way comfort creeps in when you've been lonely too long. Robert introduced her to a new world. Weekend brunches by the Thames, expensive perfume shops, theater nights, and spontaneous road trips in a sleek Audi. He opened doors she never knew existed. When he learned about her family in Nigeria, he didn't just listen, he acted. Within months, he used his network to help bring her younger brother, Chidi, to the UK on a student visa. Gratitude blurred into admiration. Admiration softened into affection. And affection began to whisper things her heart wasn't ready to hear. Yet, at the edge of every laughter, there was guilt, a quiet, persistent ache. She'd think of Emeka sometimes, his face fading like an old photograph she was afraid to look at too long. Robert noticed her silences, though he never said much about them. "You carry your thoughts like secrets," he once said, "but I don't mind waiting until you're ready to share them." That patience, calm, elegant, and steady, drew her closer. Back in Nigeria, Cynthia, Stephanie's best friend and former classmate, often called. Her tone had changed since Stephanie's success abroad. She'd laugh too loudly, speak too quickly, and always slip in comments that stung in small, careful ways. "Steph, you've changed, she'd say during one call. "Don't tell me you're still thinking of that chemist boy. You're in Oxford now. You've arrived. Emeka is just Emeka." Stephanie laughed softly, masking her discomfort. "He's a good man, Cynthia." Cynthia's voice hardened slightly. "Good doesn't feed dreams. Look around you. These white men treat you like a queen. Choose wisely." The call ended, but her words lingered like a shadow. What Stephanie didn't know was that Cynthia's admiration for Emeka had long crossed into something else, something darker. And though oceans separated them, Cynthia's jealousy was growing roots. Months turned into a year. Stephanie's career flourished. She was admired by her colleagues, respected by her superiors, and secretly envied by her peers. Her name began to appear on hospital research papers, her photo on departmental boards. And Robert was always there. Every milestone, every achievement, a hand on her shoulder, a smile that said, "I'm proud of you." Yet, something inside her refused to rest. Some nights, she'd dream of Benin, of Emeka standing by the lagoon, watching a plane disappear into the horizon. And in those dreams, his eyes always looked the same, calm, sad, forgiving. She'd wake up shaken, whispering into the dark, "I haven't forgotten you." But she didn't know if it was true anymore. 2 years later, Stephanie received an email from her department. "You have been selected to represent Oxford University at the International Health and Technology Expo in London." Her heart raced as she scrolled through the list of sponsors and partners. Among the highlighted names, one caught her breath. MSOL Pharmaceuticals. CEO Emeka O. Peters, gold sponsor. She froze. For a long moment, she simply stared at the name. Familiar, impossible, like a ghost that had found its way into her inbox. Her hands trembled as she whispered to herself, "Emeka!" The world around her seemed to fade, and all she could hear was the sound of her heartbeat, slow, heavy, and inevitable. She had no idea what awaited her in London, only that the past she thought she'd buried beneath a foreign sky was coming back, step by step, name by name, heartbeat by heartbeat. Thanks for watching. Like and share. Please leave a comment. Subscribe to help grow the channel. Please watch the parts 3.